a safe remove. This is especially so at the marine parks, where orcas are put on display for audiences to ooh and ah as they perform astonishing stunts of grace and intelligence. But to encounter such a creature in the wild, well, that's something else. Over the years, I've been fortunate enough to have had 3 such encounters in the Rockies, 2 of them with grizzly bears that happened to be using the same trail on which I was hiking and then biking. The other was really just a brief but chilling glimpse from the trail I was traversing of a mountain lion running in the other direction. It doesn't matter how big or tough you might think you are, or how well you've prepared yourself intellectually for these encounters. Frequent visitors to the woods, if they're savvy at all, will always read up on the best techniques for surviving these encounters. Your mind will go blank, your stomach will become a massive black hole, and your body will be seized with a nearly uncontrollable urge to get far from this location as quickly as possible. This has always felt primeval and visceral, part of our human hardwiring. Survival of the fittest is often a matter of effective flight, especially for a species such as ours. Man is a top-tier predator with his gadgets and guns at hand, but without them, he is just prey like any other, particularly when it comes to the real top-of-the-food chain predators like sharks and tigers. Before we invented our killing technology, we probably survived by knowing when and where to run. Fortunately, my wild encounters in the Rockies were utterly harmless. They drove home, however, a lesson not to be forgotten about humans' relative puniness in the grand scheme of the living world. Sure, I could always bring along a good can of bear spray, and tended to thereafter, but the truth is that even that is never a sure thing. Guns are similarly about as useful. One might scare them off, but grizzlies in particular are known to easily absorb or deflect gunshots. If one wants to eat you or just kill you, it probably will. Killer whales are the planet's only apex predator about whom you can say that the potential for being killed and eaten really doesn't exist. Even though they have been observed countless times over the centuries, devouring species ranging from humpback whales to sea lions to moose, there have been only a few recorded attacks on humans by orcas in the wild, and those mostly against boats carrying humans. This benign relationship with humans cannot be said of orcas in captivity, but that is another part of our story. And yes, you can tell yourself, as you launch your kayak into waters frequented by killer whales, fully aware, indeed often eagerly hopeful, that you might encounter them there, that you will not be in danger. However, when the reality comes to pass, and that 6-foot fin comes looming toward you out of the gray mist, you remember none of that. You won't always get the auditory warning. If it is a typical clear summer day in the San Juan Islands, you can see them approaching, along with the phalanx of whale-watching boats they attract that time of year. A good watchful eye will still be able to spot them at a distance on a seasonal gray and fog-bound day, since even when they are at their most jagged and furious, there is little mistaking the way an orca's dorsal fin erupts from the surface of Harrow Strait waters. Still, more often than not, you will know with utter certainty that you are occupying the territory of killer whales when you hear them breathe, a sound that moves across the surface of the ocean at a remarkable distance, the popping sound of pursed lips exhaling in a whooshing burst, followed by the heavy intake of the big breath the orca takes in. When you hear this sound, and then you spot the misty plume of expelled whale breath and the scythe-like black fin cutting through the water, you become acutely aware that you are now in the water with a very large animal with very large teeth, easily capable of knocking you into the water. If you are an ethical and considerate kayaker, you have already tucked into a cove or kelp bed, well out of the whale's path. But that is only a partial comfort, because no matter what,